is Zangpo and welcome to Dawa Kudroen. My guest tonight is Honorable Speaker Mr. Jigme Tshultim. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time. As I said earlier, session is in progress and you must be a very busy man. Yet it's a privilege talking to you, finding time for us. So first question, while you look back at your political career, almost 5 years past, how would you feel? How was the ride like?
Well, the 5 years have been a good experience. Every year we have been improving, at least I feel that way. And all the members of parliament, from the first session to the 10th session, I see a lot of improvement.
Yes.
And it has been a learning process. And democracy, as we all know, is very important. And we joined because of its importance. Because if you see anywhere in the world, it is through democracy that people are made happy, people are made prosperous, people have a share in what in the governance and they have control on their own life through democracy. And I would say I had a very good experience, a very satisfying experience.
Yes. You said you had a very satisfying experience, but again, I've been asking this to almost all my guests, especially the politicians. Any regrets, any issues or any decisions that today, when you look back, you feel that you could have done it differently or you could have done it in a more better suited manner?
Well, in life, I have had no regrets whatsoever. The 5 years experience of lawmaking.
Yes.
Well, we have adopted almost 37 laws, and also the Constitution of Bhutan, which is a lot, to agree to this many laws in 5 years. In the process, there could be some mistakes we might have created, like tobacco. Well, we had made some mistake. People are not happy with that, and then we have the process of amendment. So we did that. The problem with the tobacco law was not much with the law itself. It was how it was implemented by relevant agencies.
Yes.
They had to push it too fast, and but in democracy you need good laws, and I think over the last 5 years we have come up with many good laws which will benefit the people, which will be foundation for peace and happiness for the people of Bhutan. But also it depends how it is implemented. That is a little bit of worry I feel sometimes.
Yes. Your Excellency, talking about the Tobacco Act, the Tobacco Control Act, you mentioned that the implementing agencies have pushed a bit far
Yes.
than what was required.
Yes.
But again, when the law is passed, as prescribed in the law book,
Yes.
implementing agencies had no choice but to go as per the prescription.
Yes.
But again, some feel that the debate in the parliament was so much between smokers and non-smokers, and because of the debate between these two groups, this decision, the unpleasant decision was come about. Would you agree?
That I'm not aware, but I, for one, I've never smoked in my life.
Yes.
But then I was not for a strict law also for tobacco, because to smoke and not smoke is one's individual freedom. And personally, I felt you don't need a law for tobacco, but then we are trying to project to the world a country of happiness, where the we care for the health of our people. So because you see through smoking, if you many people have a natural death, early death, they suffer a lot, and it also taxes on the government in terms of health services. But more important is to ensure that every Bhutanese have a healthy life. So with that in mind, I think the government or the Ministry of Health came up with a bill, and we adopted it. But there were some stringent
Yes.
clauses which we amended later on.
Yes. Your Excellency, don't you think Ministry of Health, instead of coming up with this Tobacco Control Act amendment, don't you think they should have come up with more stricter laws on alcohol, more stricter laws on maybe drugs instead of tobacco?
Well, we have the tobacco law, but as for the uh, drinks, if you go around in the villages, people like to have ara
Yes.
because after a day's work, they need some
Refreshment.
refreshment, and I don't think we should have a law for everything to subject our life. Maybe drug, yes. Maybe drug, yes. I feel the many young people, young boys are dying. They have become useless in the society, and maybe we should look into having a strict drug law. But as for the drinks and all, we can do through other means, through taxation,
Yes.
which we had adopted. In fact, my colleagues, they wanted to raise the tax by 200%, and I was the one who I said, let's go slow.
Yes.
Not everything you can do through law. It has to be through education, through uh, you know, through
Awareness.
awareness and all. But to subject your life through everything through law, I think is not. You are not in a democratic society if you do that.
Yes. Your Excellency, I would like to repeat this question, the one that I asked you in Jonkal. Being the speaker, you're also supposed to maintain neutrality.
Yes.
And in doing so, the fact of the matter is that you also come from a political party. You're also part of a political party. And you also need to take care of the party interest. At the same time, party interest may not necessarily match with the national interest or the interest of the legislative body that we have. So, has it been difficult for you to strike a balance between the two?
I'd like to frankly say I had no problem, because whatever we did in the parliament, whatever the present government is doing is only for national interest.
Yes.
There's nothing called party interest. But maybe in the long run these things may happen. But we've been lucky this didn't happen in the first parliament. So I have had no problem. Well, on the opposition, since there were only two members, I had to give them more time, and then there were few of my colleagues who were not happy about it. They even thought I was, PDP. And I used to laugh at them. But now, after 2, 3, 4 years, they realized that I was not being, favoring PDP or my own party, but looking at the national interest.
Your Excellency, we have had this coverage, or some papers have covered that you're not going to come back to this political process or this political field. If you could confirm this tonight.
Well, I was, in fact, Kinsel was the first to carry the news, and I was at my house in Radi,
Yes.
and your reporter, Kinsel reporter, comes and says, I'd like to meet you. Then I was thinking maybe, the work I have done in the constituency,
Yes.
what I have done. But his only interest was whether I was going to continue
Yes.
in the next election. So I said, well, I had to be very frank with him. Yes, I have wrote to my party that in the next election I don't want to be there, because when I did my first term, I told the people that this term is so important. We are trying to create a foundation for democracy, and whatever we do has to be a good precedent.
Yes.
And although I had a very good job as an ambassador, getting very good pay and all the facilities, I was the first senior civil servant to resign and join politics, because I thought that was the call of the nation. And first 5 years so important,
Yes.
and because of that, I had told the people that I'm here for just 5 year term. So keeping that kind of promise which I made, I told the council that next term I won't be there, and also I've requested my party to uh, uh, relieve me.
Yes.
But as the situation has developed, I don't think my party will like to get rid of me. I don't think the people in my
Constituency.
constituency will leave me. But of course, ultimately it's your decision. But let's see. We have maybe one more month.
Yes.
I think one more month.
Yes.
And in our party system in DPT, we have a system whereby on the day of dissolution or day after that, we have to put in a compulsory resignation from the
Yes.
party, including the president.
Yes.
And then after 2-3 days, the party will again sit, and then will decide who all should continue, who all should leave. So till that time, I may not be in a position to really say for sure that I'll be in or I'll be out. But if there is a demand, if people want you, and if you can, when you are not too old, maybe you should serve the people. After all, when I joined, like many of our senior colleagues, I was only to serve the country. We're not looking at fame or power. We had all those. I had 32 years of service. I have only good memories. I had the opportunity of serving the country, people, and His Majesty, and I'm very happy with my services.
Yes. I have actually lined up a few follow-up questions to this, but Your Excellency answered all my follow-up questions at a go. One actually I thought was, what would to be your career after you leave politics? But now you have mentioned that you're not even sure of leaving politics. But Your Excellency, one presumption that people have is, some people have actually, is that your announcement of resignation from DPT came after the Gelpushing's case. And people tend to believe that it could be because of Gelpushing's case that you are going to quit politics. Any?
I think my announcement came before that.
Yes.
Gelpushing came later. But Gelpushing is not a concern for me, because I've not done anything wrong. And
So you're confident that you'll come clean?
of course,
Yes.
it is more of a political kind of conspiracy by one or two people. They think by defaming some senior people in the DPT, because the Prime Minister and few senior ministers are also, their names are there.
Yes.
So they thought, oh, here is a occasion where we can bring them down, because the present government has been doing very well. Yes, you go anywhere in the remote places, people are very happy. They don't see any mistake the government has done. Everything the government has done is for the people in the country. Now, when they don't say anything in the present, they like to dig into the past.
Yes.
And fortunately or unfortunately, the past is not an issue because
Yes.
when well, the sad thing is sad or when you talk from a historical context. So I feel sometimes happy that I'm the first speaker, democratically elected speaker, and that I've gone into the history. But I also feel sad because as the first speaker, I've been dragged to the court and defamed by one or two people. But I suppose these things happen in democracy. This has happened in other countries, but I don't think it should happen in Bhutan. We are looking at a society where everyone is happy. We are looking at a country where religion has played a very dominant role. Culture has inbuilt in us, and trying to learn bad things from other uh, you know societies. I don't think it gives a good picture of the country and the people who are involved. Gelposhing now, ACC has done investigation for almost 1.5 years. In the court, I asked them, who is the complainant? Who was not happy? Where did I go wrong? Show me. They couldn't show. And moreover, ACC, as a constitutional body, they have to be very careful because their main task is to fight corruption. And it's very important to have a happy country, to have a prosperous country. We should not have corruption. I, for one, always believe corruption has no place in our society because this is a poison. But when they handle their work, they have to do through due process of law. The laws have to be observed. But here, I told the court that ACC has breached the constitution. There are two portions or two sections where they are breached, and it is not good for the. Is not a good example because with this, if you breach the constitution, these things will happen, and then it might create more problem. And also, this is not an issue at all, but this happened
Yes.
12, 13 years back, and we had a king, a great king. We had a government, and no one said anything. And whatever I had done was to serve the people. If you see Gelposhing, the town is flourishing, and there are so many towns in Bhutan which are yet to come up. I took a decision, a bold decision, because His Majesty, wants that people should develop. We should have basic facilities. So I have not broken any law. I'll never break any law. I can not even think of breaking law or even going against the command of His Majesty.
Yes.
And then at this age and time, when you have served about 37 years, someone pointing fingers at you is sad. But the good thing is I've not done anything wrong. So this will be a kind of example which people come to know.
Yes, sir. We do not want to further dwell into this issue because we don't want to preempt anything, any decision that will be made by the court. But again, on a personal note, Your Excellency, would you harbor any grievances against any institutions or individuals who have actually come up with investigations? Because I have seen this happen. And for all we know, the fact is that these people or these institutions are also trying to perform their own duties. And in trying to do so, might go against some individuals and may not be to the likings of some individuals. And in these instances, some have taken it very personally and it has become very unpleasant for these individuals. Any grievances would you have?
I have no grievances. I feel sorry because the like ACC was supposed to do as per the law. They are not doing as per the law, and because of that, the purpose of having an institution like ACC in the long run will be defeated. So I'm worried for that. But grievances, well, they say they have a mandate. But yes, they should have a mandate to fight the corruption. But not, you know, do such thing through a newspaper report, which they have mentioned in their report. And the newspaper belongs to whom? I told them, do you know which paper this paper belongs to whom? You know who are the people behind this? I told them, and they have no
So, Your
answer.
Excellency, you still believe that these are all politically motivated?
It is a political motive. They think they'll benefit by doing such thing. I can tell them it will not benefit them. It might ruin themselves.
Yes. Your Excellency, now one issue that came up during this whole girl pushing issue was the role played by different institutions.
And
ACC,
media.
Yes, exactly.
Including BBS.
Lesser. Institutions like Anti-Corruption Commission was responsible in investigating the whole case and then sent a report to Office of Attorney General. Attorney General's office was supposed to prosecute, but somehow, to the surprise of many individuals, OAG somehow came to be working in conflict with ACC, and some believe that it could be because of the high profile nature of somebody like Your Excellency, Honorable Home Minister, that would have exercised some power, and because of that, Office of Attorney General would not have agreed to collaborate with ACC. Your reaction to this?
I don't think OAG has that in mind. They have gone strictly as per the law, and they have said there's no reason to take this case to the court. And I think they gave their genuine interpretation of the case. And if ACC, because somewhere in the ACC Act says that they can do, but there are also criteria. They have to fulfill 1, 2, 3, which they have not done. And so I don't think OAG has done me a favor. Who am I? I'm just a simple guy coming from a corner of Eastern Bhutan. I'm not a big shot. I've never been a big shot.
But many would believe you are one of them. It's the kind of
Well,
profile that
because
you have right now.
because I'm the speaker now, and this is happening because I'm in the democratic process. I'm in a party which has won the election. So this is the only reason. I think my only crime would be that I have joined politics and that also I'm in the winning party.
Yes.
And the guys who have lost, naturally they like to, feel that way. But it depends on the person,
Yes.
Not everyone in the opposition is like that.
Yes.
Someone who is born, if a person is bad, you'll see when he or she is a baby, you can see that. And such people can never be changed,
Yes.
even with, good education, with the good
They
people.
simply age.
They'll never change.
Yes.
So I forgive them,
Yes.
because such people never change.
Yes.
And I don't think it has benefited them.
Yes.
We'll see next election,
Yes, sir. Your Excellency, one final question.
Yes.
In line with this, how do you rate, or what would be your opinion on the working relationship between different institutions and different individuals in our system? We have so many institutions, constitutional bodies, many other agencies that should be working with some collaboration, but some say this is not happening and this could be actually dangerous in the future. What would be your take on this?
See, now the Constitution provides all these constitutional bodies, and it's good. But since we are on a transition, everyone wants to show that they're doing a job. So in the process, some misunderstanding has happened. It will happen, but this is a learning experience, and I can assure you by next term all this will settle down. And I like the constitutional bodies for working hard. They have so much push, and this is very important.
Yes.
But people are saying, constitution is made in such a way that it's kind of a divide and rule. I don't think this is true. After all, these people are appointed by whom? By the government.
Yes.
Well, and we appointed them because they were appointed before. They have been there in that post. They have been appointed by the previous government, perhaps through the blessing of His Majesty the King. So whenever His Majesty has selected or put some faith, we have faith in them. And but maybe in the next 10 years, we have to see, who are really, people who can help in our national interests, who can make sure that from such bodies people can benefit.
Yes. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time. One statement that I'd like to reiterate through this interview is
Yes.
the statement or the news that came in Quinsel a few months back on Honorable Speaker's resignation or Honorable Speaker quitting politics. True then is not true again. It's not true now because His Excellency just mentioned that he might come back. So these are the interesting developments that we'll be seeing in 2013. Thank you so much for watching Dawi Kudroen. It's time to say good night and Rashid Alillah.